Hello. Today's Faithcast echoes, in a strange kind of way, that which we had yesterday, a bit about redemption. Although this echoes it came thousands of years before it, because today's reading comes from the book of Isaiah, the Old Testament prophet. Well, how has what Isaiah got to say, how does that connect with what we heard yesterday in Colossians, what St. Paul had to say, where he said, I redeem you? Here in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1, "Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine." It's strange, isn't it? So St. Paul in a way was echoing what Isaiah said, not the other way around. And why is Isaiah saying this, and who is he talking about? Well, he's talking about God our Father in heaven. Only this time, way back in the time of Isaiah, God is calling out to the people of Israel, the people that he chose to be his people, through whom he would get his will done, and through whom he would show his ways and his life and how he calls us into being. He showed that to the Israelites through all of their time, up until they went into captivity in Babylon. They were taken into captivity, and the Old Testament will tell us that story. Here Isaiah is speaking to those people in captivity and says to them, "Fear not, I have redeemed you." God is saying, I have brought you back. I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. By name. It means each individual has been called back and brought back by God the Father, and will enter into a new relationship with him. That new relationship comes with the arrival of Jesus many thousands of years later. What happens to those between the time of Isaiah and then? Well, that's in God's hands as to how he deals with those who live in that intervening period. But he has called people, we can be assured he has redeemed them, brought them back. And he says to us, fear not if we are away from the way of God, if we are living separate from how he calls us. If we once knew about it, maybe we used to go to church, maybe we used to go to school, maybe we fell away from the faith in some way. He says to us, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I will call you by name. That means each and every one of us is in the hands of God. We are all there, part of his plan of redemption. Not just the people Israel, not just a certain group or sect or race, but each person individually. You and I are called by God and redeemed by God because of what Jesus has done. That's a similar theme to yesterday. Well, it's understandable that it is, really, isn't it? Because that's the whole theme of the Bible. God watches over, looks out for his people and redeems them, buys them back and forgives them and gives them a new start, a fresh start every day. We see it in the Old Testament, here in Isaiah, several other parts too, in the Psalms and so on. And we see it right through the New Testament too, with what Jesus says and does and what all the tribes and different people that are encountered by Paul and the apostles as they go around the Mediterranean and around Europe, trying to spread the word of the Lord. It's what the whole of the New Testament is about. So there it is, that the heart of everything is this redemption, this buying back of God's people through the work of Jesus. It can't be overstated enough that that's what the gospel is all about. It all comes down to Jesus and what he says and what he does. And then because of that, our following of him. If you know this, if you've known it forever, wonderful. Go and tell somebody else about it. See if you can redeem another soul for Christ. See you soon.